Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. Ubisoft's very costly to produce video game entitled Star Wars Outlaws is pretty much a complete failure with gamers. But before proceeding, I'd like to ask everyone to please like this video, please leave a comment, please subscribe to support this channel, and please press the bell to receive notifications. Thanks! On September 30th, the website Insider Gaming broke the news that Ubisoft had only managed to sell 1 million copies of their video game entitled Star Wars Outlaws in the first month since it was launched. The article, written by Grant Taylor Hill, reads as follows. Star Wars Outlaws was plagued with issues at launch, some of which led Ubisoft to make drastic tweaks. It wasn't well received by the general market, and gamers worldwide have been giving it pretty low scores. So it comes as no surprise to learn that in an entire month on store shelves, Star Wars Outlaws has only sold just 1 million copies. It's not as many sales as Ubisoft expected, which explains the company's recent comments about the game's performance proving to be, quote, softer than expected, unquote. It's also partly why Assassin's Creed Shadows was considerably delayed, being pushed back from November 2024 to February 2025. So to put the 1 million copies of Star Wars Outlaws sold into perspective, Insider Gaming reported in January 2024 that 3 months after Assassin's Creed Mirage had hit the market, it had secured 5 million sales. In early trailers and demos, Star Wars Outlaws impressed gamers excited to explore a vast open-world environment as a new character following an original story. But as time wore on, the sentiment around the game wavered somewhat, and gameplay videos released close to the launch of the game failed to fill consumers with a sense of anticipation. On social content and streaming platforms, the buzz around Star Wars Outlaws dried up pretty quickly, and all that was left was a string of clips posted to social media showcasing the game's poor stealth sequences and bugs. This is the kind of thing that Ubisoft moved to patch up not long after launch, but the damage was done. And what this article fails to specifically mention is that the game's deliberately uglified female main character had very likely discouraged many gamers from wanting to play the game in the first place. While I personally never had any interest in playing the game myself, a friend of mine did try to play it for a while but quickly lost interest. You would think that a so-called AAA video game development company would be able to do a better job than what was released for Star Wars Outlaws, but it's clear that Ubisoft places higher priority on woke identity politics activism than on creating products that consumers will want to buy and maintaining their shareholders' trust. Their current stock price of just over $3 per share as of the time that I am recording this video hasn't been this low in nearly 11 years. You have to go back to January of 2014 to find Ubisoft's stock price at a similar level. And that's a sign of very poor company management. So let's see how much Ubisoft has possibly made so far with its current sales for Star Wars Outlaws. The minimum price to purchase a copy of the game when it was released was $70. Multiply that by 1 million copies sold and you get $70 million in gross sales. And if we assume that possibly as many as 5% of gamers who bought the game spent $130 to get additional perks, then that might add as much as another $3 million to the gross sales. So we'll guess that the total gross sales for Star Wars Outlaws is around $73 million. And if retailers keep around 30% of the gross sales for themselves, Ubisoft's actual take might be around $51.1 million without taking royalty payments to Lucasfilm into account. But according to an October 2nd article published by website GameFragger.com, Ubisoft's estimated total budget for developing Star Wars Outlaws, including licensing and marketing, is between $200 million to $300 million. Ubisoft hasn't revealed the exact cost for the game, but earlier this year, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot confirmed that Star Wars Outlaws had the quote, biggest marketing campaign ever so far for a Ubisoft game, unquote. So as of the time that I am recording this video, Ubisoft has probably lost somewhere around $148.9 million to $248.9 million on Star Wars Outlaws. So there shouldn't be any wonder why Ubisoft's stock price is at an 11-year low. Thus, Ubisoft is in dire need of new management and more experienced video game designers and developers who can create products that consumers actually want to buy. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.